Hi everyone, how are you? I hope all of you stay safe. It has been around 2 months since the remote learning began, including spring break and holidays on Easter week, right? I think it must be so hard for a student to get adapted to the new format of the class even suddenly, right? So personally, I feel bad because especially I cannot help you with your hands-on session. But you guys are doing great. Many students send me some picture showing that their problem and their codes, so that I can figure out which parts are wrong. I really appreciate your effort and what you have done in the course, and I hope you keep up with your good work. This semester is almost done, right? And I hope next semester the life will be back to normal. Okay, do you remember that in the last chapter, we mainly talk about organizations' internal coordination and integration by using ERP or Enterprise Information System, right? From today, we are going to talk about beyond the internal integration, beyond, okay? Chapter 8 is about how supply chain management and customer relationship management help organization build and manage their external partners and customers. Um, so, um, learning objectives are describing supply chain management system and how they help to improve business to business process. You remember that we learned many types of e-commerce, right? B2B and B2C, C2C and C2B, right? Among them, we will cover how SCM help to improve B2B process. And we're going to look at customer relationship management, short to CRM, how CRM helps firms build and maintain a long-term relationship with their customers. Okay, in the first learning objective, we are going to cover diverse topics such as what SCM is, B2B, managing supply chain management, the benefit of supply chain management, and optimizing firm supply chain management. Okay, so I'm going to turn off the video. Okay, what is a supply chain? A supply chain is comprised of the companies that buy and sell goods to each other to create a product from raw materials. Because one company sells to next, who then in turn sells to another, often with multiple links before an end product is developed. It is referred to as a chain. But in reality, it typically looks more like a network with many suppliers feeding into each company. Like the figure you can see, is a simple example of a supplier network. Each supplier may have one or many upstream supplier feeding into their business or factory. At the same time, each supplier is selling to many downstream customer, although that isn't shown here. Business to business, B2B e-commerce comprise the lion's share of the e-commerce market. According to a report, B2B processes account for around 90% of all e-commerce in the United States. Like the figure, B2B includes transaction between manufacturer to shipper, shipper to warehouse, warehouse to transaction, and transaction to customer, right? From the raw material to intermediate product and final product at store, right? So supply chain management can help to B2B. For example, automating the procurement process So these can be made electronically and automatically can result in significantly procurement cost saving as well as reducing errors and related expenses. And many companies that are dealing with large number of suppliers install supplier portals. And customer portals are designed to automate the business processes that occur before, during, and after sales transaction between a supplier and multiple customers. For example, my Boeing fleet, the customer portal of Boeing company is part of Boeing's extranet and allows airplane owners, operator, and other parties to access information about their airplane's configuration, maintenance, or spare parties. So supplier and customer portals enable interaction between a single company and its many supplier or many customer. But setting up such portals tends to be beyond the reach of small to mid-sized businesses because of the cost involved in designing, developing, and maintaining this type of system. To solve this problem, many B2B marketplaces have sprung up. B2B marketplaces are different from portals in that they are controlled by a third party and allow many suppliers and buyers to get together. For a smaller company that cannot justify the expense of its own portal, B2B marketplaces are efficient way to participate in the market. A prime example of a company having to manage an extremely complex supply network is Apple. Do you know that the supply network for the iPhone involves multiple suppliers around the world? So for example, the Korean company Samsung supplies the flash memory, battery, and central processing unit to Apple. And the display is sourced from Korean company LG. And the phone chip is provided by German company, and the Wi-Fi and GPS, global positioning system, are produced by US-based Broadcom. And all these components are assembled together into the Taiwan or China. This requires coordination to ensure that all the components are the supply chain network at the assembly plant on as needed basis. When unexpected interruption occur, such as from the virus outbreak as we are suffering now, or a natural disaster, or political conflict between countries, the supply chain can cease to flow and manufacturing line can come to a halt. So we are out of many medical products, house product, or foods now, right? So having transparency throughout the supply chain helps management know what is going on and whenever possible, make adjustment for the unexpected. And one of the most significant advances in manufacturing has been the use of just-in-time. Short to JIT, JIT approach. Have you heard about it? This method is invented and developed by Toyota Japan company. JIT methods are trying to optimize their ordering quantities such that part of raw materials arrive just when they are needed for the production. As the order arrives in smaller quantity, the investment in storage space and inventory is minimized. It eliminates storage space and it eliminates bringing large stock of manufacturing supplies and the associated storage, inventory, and handling costs which are part of a lean manufacturing system focused on efficiency. And Walmart is famous for vendor managed inventory. Vendor managed inventory, short to VMI, offload inventory management to the vendor who are selling the inventory, placing the burden for maintaining a suitable supply on the vendor's shoulders, which reduce operating cost yet again. For example, the vendors of Walmart is responsible for tracking the status of inventory and replenishing supplies. To make BMI possible, the manufacturer or retailer allows the supplier to monitor stock levels and ongoing sales data. SCCM, supply chain management, makes it possible. And the next one is the bullwhip effect. Have you heard about this? I think reducing the bullwhip effect is the most important issue in SCM. Think about it. Demand forecasting can create errors, right? Forecasting cannot be perfectly accurate. It always includes some errors, right? When demand forecasts are being adjusted too rapidly within the supply chain, these errors can create an oscillation of large and small orders. This oscillation will not level out to a steady state, resulting in widely varying demand within a distribution channel. You can refer to the figure on the slide. The actual customer demand was 8. However, while it went through the supply chain, finally the manufacturer order 30 made the oscillation, right? There were forecast error, safety stock, ordering bulk stock for a discount. The difference between the actual unit, which was 8, and the last order, which was 30, can cause a company to spend more money and effort to maintain stock and cause some inefficiency. So implementing integrated business processes through SCM allows a company to better coordinate the entire supply network and reduce the impact of the bullwhip effect. SCMs often have multiple modules available to specific organizational supply chain needs. You can look at the table. And there is a trade-off on developing an SCM strategy. Firms want to minimize cost by ordering a smaller size of stock, but it will increase the risk of stock out. And they want to reduce the delivery times by having more warehouses, but it will increase the firm's operating cost. A supply chain strategy should be developed that mirrors the corporation's overall strategy. If the corporation is focused on customer service, then the company should ensure customers' needs can always be met on a timely basis. If a company is focused on being the lowest cost provider, then supply chain should push for cost reduction wherever possible, even though that increases the possibility that sometimes the supply chain will not meet immediate customer needs. Do you understand? And supply chain plan start with the demand planning and works backward through the distribution plan, production plan, and finally to the sourcing plan to determine what materials need to be sourced and when to ensure effective business operation. So supply chain planning is an ongoing process but constantly updated. And supply chain execution is the implementation of the supply chain plan, and it involves placing the order, shipping the goods and material, and paying for them. Supply chain execution, short to SCE, puts the supply chain planning into motion and reflects the processes involved in improving the collaboration of all members of supply chain. such as suppliers, producer, distributor, and customer. You can see there are flows, three flows in SCE, which you have to know. The first one is product flow. It is the movement of goods from supplier to production to distribution to consumer. RFID technology is an important enabling um, nowadays, but nowadays we can use IoT technology, Internet of Things. Do you remember that? And the information flow is the movement of information through the supply chain. And the last one is financial flow, which is the movement of financial assets through the supply chain. The financial flows is the opposite direction with product flow, right? Opposite direction. You can imagine that the customers should pay to retailers for the services or products, and retailers should pay their suppliers for the material such as resources and intermediate good, right? But information flow can move up and downstream. And supply chain feasibility is the ability to track products as they move through the supply chain, as well as external events that impact or might impact the supply chain. Supply chain analytics is the analysis and use of a key performance indicator, KPI, to facilitate more effective management and avoid ongoing problems such as suppliers that regularly miss delivery deadlines. Okay, we stop here, and in the next lecture, we're going to cover CRM, Customer Relationship Management. And please do not forget to complete the quiz. Otherwise, you will get reminders from me again. Okay, have a good day and stay safe. Bye.